US and all of these wonderful 3,000 or so people who came out today. How extraordinary. Thank you so much for being here. You know, I just came from Dharamsala, just yesterday, came here. And so, first of all, I want to extend the best wishes of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to all of you here.
Thank you, thank you.
And I'm sure you're happy to know that he was in very good health and had come from Hunsor, where he gave some really wonderful teachings. And I wasn't there for that, but friends of mine told me that there were really extraordinary teachings, a very difficult teaching that His Holiness was giving, and he was, the way he was 20, 30 years ago, with a kind of power and precision and ability to teach with great energy. So he's in really good health now. I wanted to extend that to all of you. 113 years old. And I said, but is it going to be a good 113 years? And he said, yes, yes. Look, you've spent most of the day talking about very important things, I know. And much of it has been a litany of all the terrible things that the Chinese have done, and specifically the Chinese Communist Party and what they've directed their people to do to the Tibetans. And it's been a horror, a great tragedy, not only for the Tibetans, but for the entire world. And it continues. And now with Tibetan children being taken away and put into boarding schools, and that's in quotes because it's really a complete brainwashing experience for these kids. The continuing degradation of the environment, the damming up of all the major rivers coming out of Tibet, which is going to cause huge problems downstream in India and South Asia. And clearly they've done it in such a way that there will be a time when they siphon off and redirect all that water to China. So this is a security and a survival problem for everyone in Asia and Southeast Asia. In America, we've done a lot, and we've been able to do a lot in 35 years at ICT, but even before that, we have a lot of friends in the Congress. We've always had good relations with all the presidents in all of that time. There is a moment of deep insecurity right now with what's going on in the US. But still, everyone I talk to in Congress is a loyal benefactor and protector of Tibet. So I wanted you to know the people are still there and care about you. Loden, thank you. You know, as a Loden, a great musician, and he does something more, he stands up. You know, we need to stand up. One thing that we do know over all these years is people are afraid sometimes to speak, and they said, well, we'll be neutral. And we know one thing very well: neutrality only helps the bad guys. Silence only helps the bad guys. So we do have to speak. We have to speak from wisdom, and part of real wisdom is compassion, understanding, and love. That what we hate is hate itself. We hate anger, we hate ignorance, we hate unkindness. But I think there's going to be a time when things radically change in China, and we're all going to be brothers and sisters again, like we were many generations ago. But it doesn't mean we stop talking about what's happening in the world, and specifically with our Tibetan brothers and sisters. I remember speaking in Bodh Gaya many years ago, and His Holiness asked me to talk to a crowd, and there was 500,000 people there at a teaching with His Holiness. And I didn't know what to say, but I got up because he kind of forced me to do it. But I said, you know, of course, everyone here in this crowd that comes from all over the world, all over the Tibetan world, all over Asia, the plateau, north into Tuva and Boratia and Kalmykia and places all over the world who have an innate respect for what the Tibetan experiment has meant over the last 1,500 years when Buddhism finally took root in Tibet. And took not in root the way maybe it has in the West, where spirit and spiritual training is peripheral to the way we live. The Tibetans took this to heart, and they started to create institutions to really make their whole world loving and compassionate and kind. And so I found myself talking to a crowd there, and I said, look, you know, we're so fortunate here. We're able to take bodhisattva vows. And I said, of course, in the bodhisattva vow, our pledge is to release all sentient beings from pain. But maybe in that realm of all sentient beings, we can put the Tibetans in the head of the line and give them a little extra help. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. You know, when I come to these events and I feel that sense of solidarity, that everyone is welcome here.
Yes.
The world we're living in is moving in a different direction where everything is exclusive and we're all separated from each other. But we all know there's revolving stories. We all have a story. There's 3,000 people here. There's 3,000 stories. And all those stories interconnect. How many stories? Yours is one of 7 billion stories on the planet. One thing I've learned too, and I realize I look around the room, I think I'm the oldest guy here. Is there anyone older than me here? Anyone over 75? Well, no, we have, you told me 82. We have an 82? How old? 80, right here. And His Holiness, yes, I'm being reminded, this man is going to be 90. And is smarter and wiser and more energetic than all of us put together. But given all the things you've been through, and the Tibetan community's been through, and most everyone here has been to rallies before, and we do speak out. This is not a silent group of 3,000 people. We stand up and we talk about these things. And we speak truth to power. And that's very, very important. But there's something I always remind myself, and I want to remind us all here. There have been other cultures that have gone through horrible, horrible things. The Tibetan community is different because there's a vision of possibility. A vision that includes everyone. Even the bad guys are included in the vision of possibility, where we can live together and take care of each other. And there's enough money, and there's enough food, and there's enough shelter, and enough care, and enough education for everyone. And we're not defined by our pain and by our suffering. We're defined by our ability to love, to care, to forgive, to embrace each other and take care of each other. And that's what's important about this movement. It's different from other ones. That's the vision that's fired me for the 45 years that I've been a very humble servant of this movement.
Thank you.
And a servant to His Holiness. And His Holiness at that center of that vision of possibility, of love and embrace. And the fact that Tibetans are in this diaspora where you have to find homes everywhere around the world. I found a home with you. And I think people all over the world have done that. We've found a home with you. And that vision is something that can be home to everyone on this planet. We've homes to insects, to animals, to spirits, to ghosts, to all the beings and all the universes are encompassed in His Holiness's vision, which is at the heart of this Tibetan experience. So, as we are entering this 90th year of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that's the thing that I want to bring forward, is that vision of possibility. The heart of the Tibetan world, the Tibetan mind, the Tibetan heart, is that we're here to help each other. We're here to generate bodhicitta. We're here to awaken ourselves and help everyone else to awaken to who we really are, and that we're all completely connected to each other in all possible ways. So long live this culture, but specifically long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and may he always, forever and ever be with us. Thank you so much. Tuji che. Tuji che. Tuji che. Tuji che.